Hello, our viewers from whichever the place you are watching us from. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Eye, where we focus on matters of governance, health, accountability, and special features across our country, Kenya. And in the event you're joining us for the first time, please do subscribe to receive real-time updates from our channel. And today we are very privileged to have a great woman with us who is an inspiration to so many people, and also happens to be a cancer champion and also the chairperson of Persons Living with Non-Communicable Diseases Isiolo chapter. Immediately after she was declared cancer-free, Miriam Githaiga dedicated her life to raising awareness about the disease and supporting cancer patients by offering them guidance, encouragement, and hope, and also advocating for screening for early detection and treatment. And to just bring our story to perspective, cancer is the third leading killer disease in Kenya after infectious and cardiovascular diseases. Before we start off our conversation, allow me to appreciate our partner, Royal Acacia Hotel, that is located along Isiolo Meru Highway, directly opposite Kadare Police Station and a few kilometers to Isiolo town. Royal Acacia Hotel offers elegant accommodation and top-notch conference facilities, as well as local and international cuisines. And in the event you're looking for a cool place to have a great time and spend a great time with your family and friends, this is the ideal place for outdoor events, including team building activities, wedding reception, baby showers, and photo shoots. They also have a very spacious swimming pool, gym, and spa. Royal Acacia Hotel promises you convenience, comfort, and thrilling experience. Book your stay with them today. Miriam, welcome to this segment. To start us off, would you take us back to that time you were declared cancer-free? How was that feeling about? How did you feel at that moment?
Okay, I think the journey was not so that easy, as the time I was diagnosed with breast, it was my right breast. I was diagnosed with a lump, and the lump, I was told that there was a tumor which was cancerous, and in fact I could not take it as easy as you may think, because I had to live on my own from here to Isiolo, from Isiolo to Nairobi, since there is no other cancer center, and there was not even the rumors that it could come even to Meru. It was back the year 2017, and in the month of February, when I was diagnosed, and I was told to go for mastectomy. Mastectomy is where you are removed the breast of that organ. And from there, you just stay for 14 days, and you start the treatment for chemotherapy.
And maybe that journey, what was the most challenging bit about it?
The most challenging deal is that finances, because we don't invest money, or we don't keep money for sickness. So I had to organize with my family to think where the money, where we are to get the resources. And my husband, just because he knew the challenges, he just went on and took a loan from his job. Then I started there with the financial challenges.
Okay.
But it was not enough, but we had just to move on. We had to look for friends and relatives so that they could support with the resources. Yeah.
So about how much money did you spend until the time you now got into remission, time you were declared cancer-free?
Okay, the time it was declared, I was told to start the treatment. I started with chemotherapy. I was given 8 sessions. I was going to Texas Cancer Center at Nairobi, and I could go after every 3 weeks. That is once per month for a session.
Yeah.
And at least there was a support from NHIF, whereby they could cater for the chemotherapies. So mine was just for transport.
So maybe would you quantify about how much did you spend during that entire process?
Since I started the treatment, from the mammogram, biopsy, even the mastectomy, and all the chemotherapies, radiotherapies, I was even to go to India because I was told the cancer was metastasizing. So I went to India and we spent more than 4M.
Okay.
4 million, that is. Yeah.
The time you were diagnosed with cancer until now remission, how much money did you spend during that time?
From the time I was diagnosed up now, I was given some hormonal drugs, which I was to take the rest of my life. I still take them, and I have to go every month to the hospital, and there is no cancer center in Isiolo or any oncology doctor, so I have to go to Meru every month. Per month, I normally use more than 10,000 for my treatment. And if I can recall each and every coin that was spent, it is 6 million.
6 million.
Yes. Since the time I was diagnosed. Yeah.
What was the feeling when you were diagnosed wakati uliambiwa uko na cancer? Because we know there's that misconception that people always know that if you are na cancer, you are headed, it's like a death sentence. And then later, now you were told you are cancer free. What was the feeling before and after?
Okay, the time I was told that I have the cancer, I was traumatized because I started thinking how I leave my children, my family, my husband, and also I didn't know what will follow after that. But I just encouraged myself so that I could make to go through the treatment, because if I didn't accept, I had to accept so that my treatment could be smoothly. So I just continued, and the time after I accepted, or I accepted my mind that I'm sick and I have to take the journey the way it is. I just continued and I relaxed. Yeah.
So how many years after now ndio ukakuwa declared cancer free?
I was declared after 5 years. After 5 years is the time I was declared to be cancer free. But still, even after being declared, I was told I have to continue with the drugs, but hormonal drugs,
Okay.
because it might recur if I don't take them.
Okay.
So I had to up to date, and till the time God will take me out from this world, I continue taking the drugs. Yeah,
And
but I took it positive, and it don't traumatize me, because before even it could traumatize my young baby who was 3 years, because when she had to make sure I have taken the drug, and if she slept before I took the drug, she had to wake up at night and ask, "Mom, have you taken your drug?" She could just wake up at midnight at night, and then she bring water for me, because she didn't saw me taking the drug before she slept.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wakati walikwambia sasa uko cancer free, was it a relief to you? How did you feel? When was it? Do you remember that day well?
The year 2022 October is the time I went for PET scan at KU Referral Hospital, and I was done with the PET scan. I was told that I'm cancer free, and there was no any cells that could be seen in my body. And I felt very relieved, I felt very happy, and also I got hope of life, and I saw I was to continue. Yeah.
Through that journey you've been through, do you think our government, county and national, they are serious with helping cancer patients or dealing with this disease?
At least from the time I started the journey, I could not see any support from the county government, because many people could not come out, could not accept that there is cancer. They just had the myth and misconception, saying that when you get you suffer from that disease, you are being wished, you have eaten people's properties. So they had a bad attitude towards that. But after we continued, after I myself, I had to to bring up some women who were suffering from cancer, and we had a support group, and the group helped us, at least everybody could speak out the challenges, the journey, and we saw that not me, not the other person. So we had to encourage one another. We made a table banking so that we could be able to make the money for paying the NHIF, because when you are told that you have to live with the drugs, you have to kujipanga.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very challenging.
financially. Because if you don't update your NHIF, you don't expect to get any treatment from any government or private hospital. Yeah.
And did that personal experience maybe sort of shape your perspective towards life, health, and community support? Did that experience that you went through, did it change your perspective about life, about health, and maybe community support?
It changed my health, because one thing I knew is that I had to eat well, or a balanced diet food, and I should take care in my surroundings to avoid things that can affect my health, because when you have the lifestyle diseases of such a kind, the immunity goes down. So I had to protect myself against many environmental attitudes.
Okay.
And when it comes to the community, I have been able to sensitize and also to advocacy, to make the advocacy, and to advise people, or the women, particularly from the age of 18 years, to be going for screening, medical checkup, so that when the cancer is diagnosed early, it is easier to be handled, and you can get treatment and medication when it is early.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we know when you're going through chemo, there are a lot of changes in your body. Eh?
Yes.
How did you maintain our hope and strength during that time? Because you're possibly not used to a lot of changes on your body, maybe your hair shed off, such. During that period, how did you maintain hope and strength during that period?
For once, when I was told that I was to have the chemos, I came and shared with my family, and my firstborn daughter, she was 18 years old. She just went to search from the Google, what are the side effects of the chemotherapy. And that time I had a very long hair, very smart, and I had plaited it. It was somehow I was to go for the second. I went for the first chemo. Then when I was to go for the second chemo, my daughter unplaited my hair. Then she thought I will fear, I will panic. But when she was unplaiting my hair, it fall down. And then she started telling me, Mom, do you know what? Do you know when you go for chemos, it happens this and this and this. The first side effect, the hair will go down. And the other thing, your skin will turn, the nails will turn to blackish, your hands, particularly
the nails. Oh, okay.
Yes.
The texture.
The texture, or it will turn to be black. The legs there, down there, it turned to black, like dengue black, spotted. Then, and the time, when I was removed the breast, in fact, that is the time I felt that I'm not a woman. So I started, my self-esteem went down, and my husband felt the way I was. So the changes in me, because I became so stressed. I lost the weight from 75 to 54. When I wore the clothes, they were very loose, they were baggy. Then I was asking them, hey, I feel as if my body I have lost the weight. No, ma'am, you are okay. They could just encourage me, but in the real sense, I could feel that I have lost the weight.
Okay.
And the problem is again that my skin, it was very smooth, tender.
It became rough.
And I feel I was very black. I was not the way you see me today. Yeah.
Okay.
And all my hair, it could not come back again, even after chemotherapy. I stayed almost for 6 months before my hair came up again. Yeah.
Is there an instance you possibly felt you were giving up? God,
There
this
was
is
a
too
time.
much for me.
There was a time I felt that I gave up, particularly the time I started the first chemo, because I felt it could be better even I could not have started the treatment. Because I felt I was very sick. I could feel, even if I could take the morphines, those are the strong painkillers that cancer patients normally are given in the palliative care, it could really made me suffer.
Okay.
And I could tell my husband, I feel as if I'm not going to go through this year. That is the year 2017, the year 2018. I started telling my husband, and I could even tell them to take me back to the hospital so that my children could not see me suffering, could not see the changes that I'm having and what I'm going through. It was not easy. It was not easy at all.
Are there some friends you lost during that
I lost
that
so
period?
many friends, particularly at that time, because, I needed money. And, the journey was so long. And when the friends see that every now and then you are having an WhatsApp group for the support, some could even block you from their contacts. When you call, when you request for a support, at least I lost many friends because they knew I was to look for finances to go for the treatment. And most of them, they blocked me from their contact, so I could call a friend asking whether she or he might become the committee member for my Harambe. But most of them, they were not available for me at that time. And on the same, there were friends who were so supportive. They could even call me. They could come to my home. We have a social psycho talk. They encouraged me. Some could also come to see how I look like. How does a cancer woman look like? So some could even come because they knew I had some weaves. Sometimes I could have some caves. Then you feel someone tells me, hey, would you like me? I would like to support you with you come to my salon so that I can do you free. And I told them that you just wait, I'll come very soon. When are you coming? See, they could insist that I go for salon because I was having some wigs like these ones.
They wanted to possibly see that you don't have hair.
I don't have the hair.
Okay.
Sometimes you feel somebody say, hey, you look very beautiful. You look like a young girl. Your skin is so tender. You see? So it was so discouraging. But I just said it's okay because I know this is not the end of the life. Yeah.
So at what point now do you feel that yearning to possibly now help other cancer patients who possibly going through the same ordeal that you did, now getting into advocacy?
That time after I went through my hormonal drugs and I was declared free, I could go even to the church and give the testimony and talk to, I could just tell the church leaders to give me just 5 minutes to talk to the church, because when in the church, their husbands, their wives, their girls, their women and men, And at that time, everybody could get the message. Even if you are not married, you can take the message to your sister, to your elder daughters. And they used to give me. I talk about the balanced diet. I talked about how and the importance of young girls having the HPV, that is human papilloma virus injection. Now I could tell them about that. And on the same, I could tell them it is good to go for early screening, to go for regular medical checkup. And in fact, from that time, I was up some of the church members, their doctors at our Isiolo General Hospital, and they took that very positive. So I was given, even in their churches, in different churches, I could given time to go and talk to the members of the church, and that is where many people could look where I was, so that I could give them more advice about the cancer.
Okay.
Up to date, there are so many people or relatives who calls me to talk to their patients, because when someone is diagnosed with cancer, they think that is the end of their life. They start crying, they deny even the treatment, and most of them, they end up getting the depressions. And when you get the depression, there is no treatment that can do or can work on you. So the good thing is to advise them that they have to accept, then they don't, so that they don't go into denial. Because when you go into denial, even your immunity goes down, and when you start the treatment, it cannot work out. Yeah.
Maybe from your experience, what are the common fears and challenges that people who have been newly diagnosed with cancer, what are the common fears and challenges they face?
The common fear that I have seen is that they don't accept, because they think they are going to die. And others say it is better they die rather than to leave their families poor, because they know when cancer gets into the family, it clears everything.
Yeah.
They sell their big, large of farms. Maybe they sell their whatever they have. So they normally say it is better I die before I start the treatment, because I know I leave the family, and I have to die even if they try all their best. The fact remains, a cancer patient can't survive. Yeah.
Okay. How do you help them address that in your advocacy?
At my advocacy, one thing, when I'm called to talk to those cancer patients, one thing I normally tell them, cancer is just like any other disease. You can see, I normally give them an example, like the time of COVID-19. Many people died, they were not sick. Many, they were given that vaccine, and the fact remains most of them died. Now I normally tell them, you have been sick for all that long, and maybe you think having cancer, it is the end of life. Some people, you just stand, or you just feel you are having malaria or any these communicable diseases, and most of the people dies. I normally ask them, how many have died and you are still here? For example, I tell them, because in my group, we have even many of them who were diagnosed many years ago. Many, they have 20 years, 30 years. I normally give example with those kind of people. And nowadays, particularly in Isiolo, through the groups that we normally meet, because we also have the people living with non-communicable diseases, cancer being one of them. We normally talk, because when you're also told that you have a diabetic, you are asthmatic, you have chronic heart disease, you think that is the end of the life. So in Isiolo, through that group, people have accepted, and they are ready, even from the interiors, they come even to the hospital, they are diagnosed, and they go through the medication, and most of them survive. But I normally tell them, when you don't come for early diagnosis. Remember the cancer, maybe for example, the time I was diagnosed, the year 2016. The cancer I started feeling 2016. And the time I was diagnosed, it was almost after 1 year. So, you know, the time when it is small, it can be treated without any challenges. But when it gets or starts metastasizing, is the time that most of the people, is the time they come to the hospital when the cancer has spread, and when it is spread, to manage it, it is very hard. So the good thing I normally tell them is you just come to you go to the hospital, you are being diagnosed, then from there you start the treatment and medication, and then you get healed. Yeah.
They say majority of the cancer cases are diagnosed late.
Exactly.
So what risk do people in Isiolo, where you come from, what risk do they face, considering we do not have a screening center in Isiolo?
The risk that they get is that, because, you know, for example, you get somebody from interior, and when she comes in the facilities, and they are being diagnosed, and maybe the cancer has already spread, the big challenges is that traveling, because there is no any cancer center in Isiolo, so they have to start looking for facilities where they can get treatment. So when someone seeks, they normally ask, am I going to eat? Am I going to feed to take the children to school, or I'm going to treat myself? So now they go down and they just stay. And you know, the more you stay, the more it gets worse.
Yeah.
So by the time they feel that they cannot tolerate the pain at home, is the time they rush to the hospital, and when they go there, it is too late, even for the medication to take place. Yeah.
And maybe could you share with us a memorable moment? Maybe you assisted a patient through that journey, and you saw firsthand vile hiyo usaidizi yako make a difference in their life.
Okay, I have helped so many people. Like 2 years back from now, I had a patient who I was brought to talk to her, and she had given up. She was even refusing to go for treatment. But I have shared my story with her. She was very positive, and she told me, Miriam, now since you have told me and I can see the way you are, I'm ready to go. I have accepted the treatment, and from now I'll go with my husband. The time, in fact, we were here at Reacacia. We talked almost for 2 hours. And she told me, from here, I'll just go home, pack, and then I go to the hospital. And she went through the chemotherapy. First, she was given the chemotherapy, and she was done the mastectomy. After the mastectomy, she was given the radiotherapies. But unfortunately, after she went for a PET scan, she was told that the cells have spread to the liver, which is a very sensitive organ. Then she was prescribed the medicine for 50,000. Unfortunately, she could not make it. She passed on, and the family up to date, they normally look for me, the children. They do even to come for me to say that I helped their mother, because if at all I did not do her before, she could not even stay for the 2 years that she stayed. Lately, I had another patient at Mwangaza here. She was diagnosed. Then the children came to me. She told me, Mrs. Githaiga, I want you to talk to my mom because she's too down. She don't want to go to the hospital. She's saying that she's going to stress us, to leave us bankrupt. Then I told them I'm ready. In fact, when I'm told, even by the time I was called by the first patient, I had a small child for my daughter. That is my granddaughter. She was 1 month old. I left the baby because of the passion and the feeling that I have to help the people, because of I could not imagine someone going through what I went through, and I was there. So I left the child, I prepared some naan to the house girl, then I came to Acacia, then we continued with the talk. And last year, I had another patient who was also, as I was saying, that the children called me, and I talked to the mother, and the mother accepted, and she told also them that she's ready to go for treatment, and she started the treatment, although it was so challenging, but each and every step, particularly in chemo, because that is where cancer patients get challenges, and the one gives up is during the chemotherapy. But I could just advise her the way to do, and she went through. Up to now, she's back to her job. Yeah, and so many, there are many. Yeah.
Wow, great. Maybe while you're doing your advocacy work, which are some of the biggest misconceptions about cancer that you've been dealing with?
First of all, there is this cervical cancer. Most of people, or women, or even the families, or even the community that is everywhere, not even in Isiolo alone, they think the cervical cancer it is brought by your partner, having so many partners, having those the infections. They believe, particularly in women, they believe when the one is getting the recurring infections, that is one sign of cancer survivors. And in most cases, you meet the family separating, because the woman might say the husband is the one who's bringing for me this one, and the husband, particularly husbands, they normally leave their wives when they get the cervical cancer, because now they say now there is no marriage there. You cannot go with a woman who is suffering, who is just maybe bleeding, having the wounds. You see most of the family breaks. And particularly the time also, as I had not say about my losing my breast, even me, I was very scared, because I thought now my husband will leave me because of living with one breast, and other women are having two breasts, something like that. But I thank God, because he took it positively, and he told me the time I got you, you are okay, and even the time you are this way, I'll still love you the way you are. Now that one made me even to have hope, and I have never seen him neglecting me because of my challenges. Like now, when I was removed the lymph nodes, they were 12, 9 were affected, so it meant that the cancer was very serious. And nowadays, I can't even work with my right hand, because if you can see it is well, they are not the same. It is just coming back slowly by slowly. I cannot do my domestic work, like washing, doing heavy duties, lifting. I have to employ a helper.
Okay.
So for me, I know I was also left with the disability. Yeah.
Okay. There's the issue of isolation, when possibly people know you're diagnosed with cancer, and then they start keeping off, sort of they isolate you. Is it something you've also been handling?
For me, it is only friends, but for the family, they supported me, and no one ran away from me or discouraged me. But with other women that they had interacted with them, particularly the time I was going for the treatment, you could see I was being taken by my brothers, my husband, so they could alternate. But you could see other women, somebody is coming along, she have a pipe. Some of them, they are carrying their catheter with them. Some of them, they are worn out. But, and when we share the story, like the way women normally share, you just hear somebody saying that when I was diagnosed, my husband left. He went and get married to another woman. The family, they left me. They told me to go back to my home. So most of them, they are taken back to their mother's home. Yeah.
And apart from medication, maybe what other resources and forms of care do you think are important for patients who are undergoing now that process?
The thing that I think, what I think for me and what I have seen is that if the government can think of the way of supporting the patients with cancer, particularly in the county levels, one thing they should, when there is bursaries, they should consider them being the first priority, because you know the family has already
Strained
exhausted everything. The family is straining financially. So sometimes you see even when the children are in school, they have to drop from school because of school fees. The government should consider the parents who had gone for that journey. And again, there are sometimes there are food that are given, the relief food. They should mind about them. And also there is this money for women enterprises. Those funds. They should consider, because they have the sometimes there are no interest, or even if the interest is there, it is affordable, and they can be able to do some small businesses, and the business can assist them in there. And also when it comes to the NHIF, I think it is better to consider their health, because some of when you go to the hospital, some of the treatment, for example, the images, X-rays,
they are not taken care of.
they are not taken care of. And even some of the drugs, because some of the drugs, they are very expensive. You can see a cancer patient being given an injection that for 50,000 once per month. And you see that the normal NHIF, because our NHIF, they are not comprehensive. It's just personal contribution, and it cannot be able to cater for those treatments.
And SHA is not friendly for cancer patients.
In fact, the time we stopped from NHIF, many patients died, and it is so sympathizing. Particularly at this time, even the time it started working, they just work inpatient, but not outpatient. And in most cases, when a cancer survivor, a cancer patient goes to the hospital, you have to start from outpatient. And that is where you use a lot of money. So when you are told to go for
Imagine.
this one, when you want to consultation fee, you see the consultation fee, it is much even than the transport that you have used from here out to go to Nairobi or elsewhere. And then you see there is when you are told to have the what we call them, the X-rays or the scans. You see, you cannot afford to pay cash, so you have to go back home. And sometimes you see most of the need they give up even going to the hospital. And the moment you stop, you don't follow up with the doctor, it metastasizes, that it spreads. Yeah.
So how do you manage to stay hopeful and positive while advocating for such a challenging cause? What keeps you going? Because I'm sure when you're dealing with those patients and survivors on your media, same stuff, possibly maybe another kukumbusha the experience you underwent during your journey.
It reminds me, and that's why I feel that I should talk and talk and talk, so that they should also see it is not end of life, or it should not discourage you from telling other people. Because if I keep it in myself, it won't help me. And if I flash back and think the way the challenges that I went through, it might also traumatize me, and I will not be able to tell people about it or to advocate about it. Yeah.
So as a person who have walked now that journey from diagnosis all the way to remission, what advice would you give to someone who have just been diagnosed with cancer? Unaweza mwambia nini?
What I can just tell the person is that one thing, you just accept that the problem has come. And after you accept, then it will be very easy for you to advance, and your life will move smoothly, and even the treatment will run smoothly. But if you don't, the first thing is mindset. You have to accept that the thing has come, the challenge has come. Now it's me to accept so that I can be able to advance or move on with the challenges. Because if you don't accept, in fact, that the life for you is very short. Yeah.
Okay. So there is the instance of mental health now, because unasumbuka kimawazo, possibly maybe some of your friends have already distanced themselves, wengine wamekuwa isolated. How do you handle the issue of mental health among now the patients and survivors?
Okay, about the mental health, we normally, as I told you, that we have the supporting group, and we normally have the regular meetings with them, and then we look for some counselors. And the counselors that we normally get, they don't need any money. They just give us it free. Most of the time we get them from general hospitals because, as I said, it is one of the NCDs. We have a coordinator who is called Joyce Mwende, and she normally organizes some of the TWG, that is having those groups that comes together, and we are particularly I, as a chairperson of NCDs, I'm normally involved in those meetings.
Yeah.
And when because the meeting is normally involved in many county
Chapters or
not chapters, officials from the county,
yeah.
from the health, everywhere.
Yeah.
They normally we are normally told that if there is any finances from the county that we need, we have to stay as group. We are told how we can do it. Then if there is something like what we call the public participation, in the county, so that we can go and share our grievances there. And then most of the time we have the works, which we have to talk about all the NCDs and the people who are hidden inside their homes. We just look the way of bringing them out, because when you stay alone, you might even get mad. Because, and we can see most of them, they have depressions, but when they come out and they are being talked to, they are kept busy, and also they have some of the medications, because some of them, they have to go through the medication. They have to be in medication, and some of the medications, they are also expensive. So we normally talk, and we are supported by the Ministry of Health to go and get some of the medical free.
Oh, okay. So that's under the county?
As the county, yes.
Oh, okay. So that group sort of has helped you advance your agenda in a way?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What has that journey of treatment, getting into remission, and now advocacy, what lessons have you picked? What life lessons have you picked from that journey?
The first lesson is that when you have a problem, you should share with others, so that you also get healed. Because if I stayed alone, and maybe I was feeling shame to go and express my journey, I feel maybe people may say that I'm looking. In fact, some of the people, they normally say that I look for money or sympathy when I speak like a time like this. But me, I normally do it free.
Yeah.
I don't need anything to be given back to me, because I know the more I give it, even God bless me, and even my children, they don't feel that I'm exposing myself. They told me, Mom, since God didn't take you away, we will never, even if we see you talking or doing the advocacy, we don't have any problem with it, because others, even their children, told, Mom, you should not be seen in that walk. You should not even be seen talking in the radios. You should not be seen in the public talking about yourself. For me, I have to talk because I know the consequences.
Okay. Maybe as we wind up, what are some of the do's and don'ts zenye unaweza advise mtu mwenye anapitia hiyo safari?
What I can advise the people who are going through this journey, that you should not listen to what people say, because people, they are always negative. Second thing, you just accept yourself. And another thing is that you should invest in your health, particularly in diet, because if you don't eat well, obvious, you cannot, some of the challenges, they cannot get away from you. So you have to eat well, live well, and don't get stigmatized. Because when you allow to be stigmatized, you cannot go through. Yeah.
Okay, great. And maybe your last statement as we wind up.
For me, my last statement, if I can, as I wind up, I can just say, for the media people, when you are called, because in our groups, most of the time we call the media people, you should not charge us. And it is good you take the first priority. If you are to go to a wedding or in a summer, and you are called by the patients to come and let them have your talk, you just respond, because this is a way that the gospel will spread all through and easily. And also to have all the channels, including the local people, the local community around the place. And again, for the county government, I will wish if they can consider those people, the people living in NCDs, I mean mostly cancer survivors, cancer warriors, because in each and every county, we are supposed to have a cancer center. Because there are some people who cannot travel all the way from Marsabit, from all these northeastern part, and even around here in Isiolo. They cannot afford transport to go and get treatment away out of Isiolo. And if we have the cancer center, I think it can be very easy. One can be diagnosed here and get the treatment. And also those who are to be in palliative care, they be in palliative care. Because some are at home and they are supposed to be in palliative care. And also to bring the drugs or medicine for cancer patients. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miriam, for sparing your time and being part of this conversation. We really thank you so much, and we hope Miriam's story will be a source of inspiration to you, our viewers. So in event you've also not been checked for cancer, go for screening and know your status so that you are able to access treatment in time. And we really appreciate you, our viewers, for staying tuned throughout this entire conversation. We hope we'll continue bringing you more exciting and inspiring stories. I can't forget to thank the team behind the camera. We have Karish there and Frank for doing an amazing job. We wouldn't have managed to bring this to you without their work. In fact, they are doing a lot of work behind the camera and behind the scenes. Until next time, we really appreciate you. It's been Beyond the Eye. God bless you. See ya.